Hi guys, it's Tam. Welcome back to my channel. Today you're going to see me do a process video in collaboration with Fam the Fabulous. She has a channel here on YouTube entitled Livy's Lovelies. I'll post it down below in the description of this video. So it's a collaboration. She asked several of us who have YouTube channels here to go in connection with her on, and so she entitled it, it's for Valentine's Day, so that's the theme, and she titled it Shades of Love. So each one of us we were assigned an element, and I chose a tag, and we were to pick a black and white or sepia tone photo to use as our main element on whatever we chose, and we are to just talk about the photo, our connection to the person or persons in the photo, and kind of give, you know, a backstory, history, or whatever about what that person means to us. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you what I'm using, which is this sticker sheet from the Dollar Tree. And the base for my tag is just a coffee dot piece of cardstock. I also pulled some red tissue paper. And I'm showing you now a red doily that one of you guys gifted to me, and I'm just, you know, separating them apart, and I'm only going to use one. And so I also picked a poem that I printed off of Pinterest, and it just says, I don't care if it was by mistake or some stroke of fate, I just thank God that I found my soulmate, and my love, you were worth the wait. And so that's what I'm going to put on the back. And again, the photo that I chose was of my mom and my dad. This is the only photo that I have of the two of them together. So it's not the best photo, but it's the only one that I have, and I'm grateful that I have that one with the two of them together. So I chose some vintage book and music paper that I'm going to put down as I'm going to attach it to my tag, and I'm going to use it to create some texture on the tag. So that's what you're going to see me do in just a second. And my adhesive is just some Elmer's glue. It's in a Mod Podge container, but I did not have any more Mod Podge. So instead of throwing this container away, I just took some Elmer's glue and I mixed it with just a little bit of water to help it, you know, move around a little bit better and not be so thick. And I'm just using it to adhere my vintage pieces down onto this piece of cardstock. So like I said, I want the book and music paper to create some texture on the tag, so I don't want it to lay flat. So you'll see me crumpling the paper up just to give it, you know, some texture. And let me tell you about this little cheap brush. I don't know where I bought this brush from, but the bristles just kept coming off of the brush. So I'm going to show you the brand in just a second, just as a word of caution to not purchase it. I don't remember if I got it offline or if I just went into one of the craft stores and picked it up there. I'm not really sure, but it's not worth, you know, selling. I don't know who put it, you know, in rotation, but it's definitely a cheap brush. So I'm going to use it as long as I can just for the purposes of gluing stuff down. It really can't be used for anything else, seriously. It's you know, it's bad, y'all. It's bad. So the bristles just kept coming off of the brush, and I continuously had to pick them off of my project here. So just a word of caution. I'm going to show you the name of it in just a second. So now that I got enough book and music paper on my background, I'm going to take some of the red tissue paper and just use it to pop some color down. And so you're going to see me kind of place it around on the tag, just so I can have some of that red peeking through the other elements that I'm going to eventually put on it. Now, I don't know what kind of led me down the road of doing this project in, you know, kind of mixed media, but that's just kind of where I went with it. And I gotta say that mixed media is always very freeing to me. There are no rules to it. You just put down whatever you want, and whether it turns out good or bad, you have relieved stress and you've kind of had your creative itch scratched. And it's just one of those things that has always just been totally joyful for me. Like mixed media, just you can't go wrong with it. Just keep putting stuff down until you're satisfied. So that's what I did, and you're gonna see me dry the page in just a few seconds off camera, and then I'll be back to show you guys where I'm headed to next. So because this piece of cardstock was just in a rectangular shape, what I did was just cut the top corners off on the left and right top of the corners, and just to give it that tag look. So now you're going to see me put some watercolor down on the tag. So I just used the colors on that sticker sheet from Dollar Tree to kind of give me an idea as to what colors I wanted to put down on the tag. So you see me choosing some yellow. I'm going to choose some teal, some orange, and what else? Some black, I think it was. So you're going to see me kind of put all of those down on the page, and I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to keep going, and I'm just going to get past that ugly stage, as some people say, until it looks the way I want it to look. So you're going to see me do that here, and then I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to come back and do some more painting, and I'm going to do some stenciling, and so it just goes on and on until it turns out looking the way I want it to look. So what you see me pulling right now is some Tim Holtz paint, and I think it's I don't even remember what color it was. It was Tim Holtz Distress paint in the color Spun Sugar, and I used some of Bob Ross's white acrylic paint. So you see me stenciling some white paint down, and I pulled a stencil set that I purchased off of Amazon by Vicky Booten, and so I'm just putting those circles down over the page. And I'm also going to pull what you see right now, a butterfly moth type stencil by Vicky Booten as well, and I'm going to use some of that pink Spun Sugar paint by Tim Holtz, and I'm just going to stencil out some butterflies. You're not going to really see them in the end, so most of this butterfly stencil got covered up, and I mean, it was for the best because it really didn't come out the way I wanted to anyway. Like, you really couldn't see the butterfly image like I wanted to. So I'm going to take some of that white paint and just sprinkle it down on the tag, just to give it, you know, all the more, you know, grungy look, I guess. So I'm going to dry that off camera, and then I'm going to come back to show you guys what that looked like. But before I do that, I'm actually going to use that excess white and pink paint that I have sitting there on the right, and I'm just going to put it down in my glue book, because a lot of times when I use this particular glue book, I use paint as my background, and so I didn't want to waste that white and pink paint, so I just, you know, put it down on this page, and even used a little bit more of the pink just to cover the page a little bit more. So whenever I get ready to use that page, it'll already have some paint on it. So I'm going to pull my tag, and then I'm going to dry it with my heat gun, and then I'll be back. So now that I have pretty much finished the background and textured everything up the way that I like it, and I love the way it turned out. So you have that texture going on, and you have all those paint elements back there as well. So I'm going to take my distressed, is it distressed? Hold on. No, it is archival. I took my black archival ink to go around the edges of the tag just to give it that more distressed look. Now, the only thing that I can say about the photo, which we were asked to talk about, is that this is the only photo of my mom and dad together, as I stated before. Now, I don't know if any of my dad's sisters have more photos that I could, you know, get, but this is the only one that I personally have. And this picture was taken in the fall of 1977, and it's a photo of my mom and dad just sitting on the sofa, and somebody, you know, took their photo, and my mom actually had my oldest sister sitting on her lap, and so I kind of got her out of the photo more or less by some of the elements that I'm going to put down, but you can kind of see her arm stick on the original photo. You can see all of her, but when I edited the photo, I edited her out as much as I could, and then I'm going to cover the rest of her up when I adhere the photo to the tag itself. But in this photo, my mom is 20 years old and my dad is 22. And it wasn't too long after this photo was taken, I think it was maybe a year and a half or so, my father actually died in a car accident. And this photo of him and my mom has such, you know, significant meaning for me, because number one, it's the only photo that I have of the two of them together, and just the smile on her face, you can tell she's just so happy and in love with him. And it's just, you know, one of those photos where I'm sure every day wasn't a good day in their marriage, but this was a good day just based on the smile on her face. My mom could not hide her emotions, so if she was having a bad day, you would have definitely seen it in her face. But I can just feel the love and the joy in this photo that they have for each other. And even though my dad ain't smiling, I know that he loved her, he loved us, and I'm just praying that he knew Christ in the pardon of his sins, and that I will get to meet him one day in heaven, because at the time he passed away, I was only 2 years old, so I didn't get a chance to know him. But hopefully he was saved. And I say hopefully because I don't know if he was saved. I was only 2 years old, and I just pray he knew the Lord, and I pray that I get to meet him one day in heaven. So that's all I can say about this photo. I love both of them, you know, to death. Both of them are no longer with me, as I stated before. My father passed away about a year and a half after this photo was taken, and my mom passed away in December of 2019. And so I don't have a mom or a dad, and so sometimes that kind of hits me and makes me feel sad. But this is just an opportunity for me to just reflect on who they were as my parents, and just reflect on the fact that they loved each other and that they loved us, and that for sure I know I'm going to meet my mom again in heaven. She was a believer in Jesus Christ, and I know she now sits up there waiting for us to come join her. But my father, I don't know. I don't know if he was saved, but you know, if he was, I'll be meeting him as well one day. And so you guys kind of see me putting everything, the final touches mostly, on this project. So I pulled some black lace from my stash, and I'm going to use it at the top. And so it was too much, like the amount of lace that I was trying to adhere to the page, not the page, to the tag, was too much. So I'm going to cut it down, because you see on the back there, it was covering up a portion of my poem. And so I'm taking that staple out. I'm going to cut it down, and then I'm going to make it smaller, position it on there with some glue so it can stop moving around, and then I'm just going to staple it on there with my Heidi Swap tiny attacher. And that's going to be pretty much it, guys. Leave a comment down below and let me know how you guys are doing. What are you working on? And please check out this collaboration that Fam has put together. I appreciate her so much. I appreciate her for thinking about me to include me in this project. I definitely appreciate that, and I enjoyed it, guys. I mean, like I said, mixed media has a way of just relaxing me, and so I just love the opportunity to kind of dive into it. And so I like it, and I'm going to use this tag in my Hobonichi. So I'm going to use it just as a bookmark in my Hobonichi, just to separate some pages and stuff like that, and just to reflect on it, just to look, you know, on it when I go into my planner, and just see my mom and dad sitting there smiling. It's just going to bring a smile to my face every time I look at it. I know it is. So I haven't stopped smiling since I, you know, was putting this project together, trying to decide what I was going to do. And so I just love them. I love them so. And one day I'm just going to see them again. And so it just brings a smile to my face just to see the two of them sitting there together. So that's it, guys. This video is coming to a close. You guys know that it is always a pleasure to jump on here to talk to y'all. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you have found something crafty to do today to bring you joy, to get that little, scratch that little creative itch that you may have. And I just hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you are staying safe. So as always, it's a pleasure, guys, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.